Hello design students. Today I am going to show you a few different ways that you can trace images. So it's a really great design tool that you can use, especially if you take your own images. I wouldn't really think of it as cheating or anything like that, just original content that you are turning into something different, right? So I'm going to show you a few different ways, and I've come up with kind of about 3 or 4 different ways that you can trace images. So the first one is by using a light table, which is over here. And you can get those from Amazon. Now they make them really slim because they can use LED lights. You can also use trace paper that comes in rolls or sheets. You can also use carbon paper, which is like the really good old way of tracing something. And then if you want, you can actually DIY your own light table by using like a glass table with a lamp underneath, or you can use the window like this. And when you place your original image and you put like a little piece of paper on it, you can see what's going on and you can trace it. Okay, so these are really great if you're using like a medium weight or like computer paper or something like that. It may work with thicker paper, but you really have to try it out. Okay, so I'm going to show you some different ways that you can trace and show you some pros and cons for each method. Okay, so the first thing we're going to start with is the light table. And this one I got from Amazon. This is a bigger one. This is like a 15 by, or like a 14 by 10. This one was like about $27 or something like that. So if you're gonna do this a lot, it's a really good investment. But if you're not gonna do this more than just this class, maybe it's better to just stick with trace paper or something like that. Okay, so you turn on the light. And the great thing about this is that you can change the brightness of the light. So you can make it super bright. Here, I'll just place a little paper on top. This is just computer paper, and you can see how easy it is to like see through, and then you can go ahead and trace whatever you want to trace. And you can adjust the light depending on what you want to do. So you can still sort of see it. So if you don't want to like completely see every little detail, then you can turn it down a little bit. That way you can do like a more rough outline or something like that. So that's pretty like easy to do. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep it medium. Sometimes when you turn it up really high, it can show like all the grains of the paper, and that can be kind of annoying. Or like the print quality is bad or something like that, so it'll show like pixels or whatever. So it's really easy to outline something. I've used this to like do watercolor painting, so I'll put like my original image in the back, I'll put a watercolor piece of paper, and then I'll just watercolor on top of it. It has given me some really nice and interesting results. Okay, so you can get like a really nice trace. The great thing about this is that you can trace directly on your final piece of paper. So let me see if I can find, oh yeah, I do have some watercolor paper. So this is like thick watercolor paper. And you can see what's going on. It's a little bit more difficult, but you can pretty much like see what's going on underneath. And this is like really thick paper. So it's really great for that. Now, some of the downfalls of having a light box is that if you're tracing something that's front and back, it will sometimes show what's on the back as well. So you can see where it says brand languages. Especially when this is turned up, you can see the back side as well. It says brand languages right there. So that might not be helpful when you have like double-sided like print or something like that. And it's the same with using a window or DIYing your own light box. It will show what's on the back. So it might be a good idea to just like print a one-sided picture because you don't want to get confused. I mean, you can still do it. You just have to be careful and know what's on the other side and know what you want to trace and what you don't want to trace. So it's not like, you know, it'll mess everything up. You just have to pay more attention. Okay, so that's the light box, and I really love it because it can, you can get super precise with it and all that. Okay, the second thing I'm going to show you is using trace paper. Let me just put that to the side. So here is my original image. Center it. So trace paper is affordable. It's really thin paper. My favorite part to use this is to sketch. What I like to do is when I'm coming up with an idea, like I'll have an original drawing or something like that. Let me see if I can find an example. All right, so I did this little drawing of some metallic parts on a building. If I wanted to like try a different color or like try a different shape, I can just like trace most of it. But you know, maybe I want to do, instead of this being straight, I want to do like a curve or something like that, so I don't have to like redraw everything. I can just trace most of it, and then I'll see like what the curve looks like, right? So this is a really good way of just like practicing and seeing what you like and tracing things over and over again. Sometimes I have like layered several pieces of trace paper on top, so I'll do like a drawing and then I'll do another drawing that's slightly different, and then I'll do another drawing that's slightly different. So it's really good for like layering and practicing and things of that nature. You can also use it to transfer designs. So let's say, you know, you have this design, right? And you want to make it exactly like this on your final sheet of paper. So what you can do, so now when you transfer this to like your final piece of paper or like your watercolor paper or any kind of thicker paper, it won't be as precise, but you can kind of get the general idea so that when you do draw, it comes out better than if you were just to blindly draw it. Okay, so what I suggest with doing this is to put some graphite behind it. So this is your drawing, you're going to turn it over, and I'm using like a you can really use any pencil, but bold and softer pencils are better for this. So like anything like B or higher or something like that should work. So what you do is just apply some graphite in the back, and then you can turn it back over and then use a sharp, either a piece of pencil or a pen or anything, to press down and do a drawing. Okay, so just make sure you press down hard enough so the graphite will transfer, but don't press so hard that it tears the trace paper. Okay, I'm doing a really fast version because that save you the trouble from sitting there and staring at me draw. And then here is a nice outline. And because this is graphite, it's erasable, which is great. So then you can go in and you can go over it with your pen or whatever your final thing is, and do your drawing that way. Okay. Another way of transferring something is using carbon paper. Now this is a piece of paper you can purchase, and it has like some ink on the back, and it's sometimes it can be kind of messy, so just watch how you place your hands and all that kind of stuff. But basically what you do is you put the ink side down on your final piece like so, and then you put your photograph or your drawing or whatever you're trying to trace on top, and then you can go over it. So I'll just do like a really quick outline here so I can just kind of show you how it works. And when you're done, it should make a nice little line on your piece of paper. There you go. So it makes a really bold line. Almost looks like a pen. This one is blue. I think you can purchase it in different colors. Maybe black is the most common or something like that. And then there's your drawing. But it won't erase. Okay, so that's the kind of negative part about this, is that this is ink. So when you're tracing using carbon paper, I mean, you better get it totally right. And people actually use this in typewriters, so you can actually like put two pieces of paper like this, and whenever like the typewriter is like because it like presses the letters on there, you can have like two copies. So that's really where it comes from. So anyways, if you're interested in using this, you can. Just remember, it will not erase. So if you have something that you want it to be a little bit more flexible, then that might not be the best idea to use. But if you like this kind of line, it's really nice. And it's also really straightforward. All you need to do is this and put your, drawing on top, and it's really simple. Okay. And then of course you can't really see what's going on under there. So that's another sort of negative point to this. But this is the most simplest sort of way of transferring images. Okay, so I think that's it. There might be a few other ways of transferring images, but these are the most common. So make sure you guys feel free to utilize it, and utilize everything that you can to benefit yourself.